benefited from the planting of food and jobs program. This comprised 8,004 males, 1,018 females of varied ages, majority of which were within the youth brackets. The program increased access to farm inputs, extension services, and improved yields per acre of the major crops by at least 30%. Honorable Presiding Member, the Planting for Food and Jobs program aims, among other things, to increase food security and provide employment for the youth. I crave your indulgence to encourage the youth to patronize the program. The next is Planting for Export and Rural Development. Honorable members and Honorable Presiding Member, under the Planting for Export and Rural Development program, a total of 376,907 cashew seedlings were nurtured between 2019 and 2020 and distributed to 2,249 farmers, 1,397 males, 1,256 females across the district to establish 9,422.5 acres of plantation. It is worthy to know that the cashew trees of 2,250 acres plantations established in 2019 across the district started fruiting last year, December. Honorable Presiding Member, we must create a niche for the district as we have the comparative advantage in cashew production. In this respect, more citizens, especially the youth, need to be encouraged to take part in the program. The next one is the One District, One Factory. Honorable Presiding Member, the construction of a cashew processing factory in Nsawkaw, which is being implemented under the One District, One Factory program, is 80% complete. Given our production levels of cashew, the project is catalyst for development in the district. We cannot wait to have a factory in the operation. We would therefore make strenuous efforts to put pressure on the relevant stakeholders to see to early completion of the projects. The Works Subcommittee must see this as a priority project and thus put an eye on it. The next one is development projects. Honorable Presiding Member, 32 development projects are currently being executed, 17 of which have been completed and 15 ongoing. In terms of the sectorial distribution, government was allocated the highest number of projects, 34.4%, followed by education. Governance was allocated the highest number of projects, 34.4%, followed by education and water and sanitation, which stands at 21.9%. The details are in the table below. When you get the report, you'll see it, but let me mention them to you. Sector, education, number of projects, 7. Percentage, 21.9%. Governance and transparency, 11, 34.4%. On health, 5 projects, percentage-wise, 15.6. Water and sanitation, number of projects, 7, percentage, 21.9. And on economic, 2 projects, 6.3. Total, 32 projects, so 100%, 32. The source is District Planning and Coordination Unit, Tain District Assembly. That's where we got this from. If there's any question, ask. The total contract sum for the 32 projects implemented is 7,804,173.04 Ghana cedis, out of which 4,224,453.39 Ghana cedis has been paid, with 3,578,719.6 outstanding. The next one is disaster situation in the district. Windstorms, Honorable Presiding Member, rainstorms, domestic fire outbreaks and flooding have been experienced in 10 communities in the district between 1st January and 30th September 2021. In all, 803 persons were affected by the disasters, with a total estimated cost of losses or damages amounting to 483,580 Ghana cedis. The details are captured in a table in front of me right now. Disaster situation as at 30th September 2021. Type of disaster. We have the community, the adults, and the children, and then the total, and then estimated losses. Now, the first one is winds and rain, stroke rain. Nsawkaw, Menje, Tain so, Deepening, Asufu, Kodwako and Nsawkaw. Adults who were affected were 194, children 353, total 547 persons were affected, and the estimated cost was 309,580 Ghana cedis. Domestic fire, Nsawkaw, Menje, and Nsawkaw. Adults 10 were affected, children 8. Total number of persons affected were 18, and the cost was 58,000 Ghana cedis. Flood, Fula,
Yes.
And Gedenge, and Deepening. 54 persons were affected. Adults. Children 184. Total 238 persons were affected by flood at these areas, and the sum of 116,000 Ghana cedis was cost. Source: NADMO Secretariat, Tain District Assembly. So the source is from NADMO office. The next report is on Executive Committee report. Since I am required to present a report of the Executive Committee at every ordinary meeting, I wish to use this opportunity to present the recommendations of the Executive Committee held on 21st April 2021 and 27th October 2021 as follows. Finance. Motivation for revenue collectors. Honorable Presiding Member, the Executive Committee observed that the abysmal performance of the Assembly in revenue generation is partly due to lack of motivation among others. It is therefore recommended that a motivation scheme be instituted for the revenue collectors to boost their morale. The next one is strategies for revenue widening and deepening in the district. The Executive Committee also observed with deep concern that the Assembly is unable to collect the revenue items approved in the fee-fixing resolution. Property rate and collection of cash-related transactions were revenue areas mentioned where the Assembly was woefully underperforming. Honorable Presiding Member, deep interrogation of the revenue collection situation also revealed that the Assembly is not targeting certain revenue areas that could help improve our revenue performance. It was decided that the Assembly advises strategies to deepen and widen the revenue net in the districts. Erection of revenue barriers at areas such as Pepoase, Yaudonko Krum, Kumo Krum, Tain, etc. was recommended as strategy to boost revenue. It is worthy to report that pursuant to the decision of this August House, a revenue task force has been constituted which has started monitoring of revenue collections. The committee is also mandated to do sensitization on revenue mobilization in the communities with strong collaboration of the honorable assembly members and town or area councils. An estimate for maintenance of the assembly's grounded vehicles to facilitate the movement of revenue task force has also been done, and we are in the process of sourcing funds for the work. On this note, I urge this August House to discuss and come up with workable strategies that would increase our local revenue collection capacity. On health, sponsorship scheme for midwives. Honorable Presiding Member, it came to the attention of the Executive Committee that the pregnant women to midwife ratio in the district is far from the required standard, which has implication for maternal health and child care. The committee thus recommended that brilliant and committed citizens of the district should be identified, bounded, and sponsored to pursue midwifery in the various midwifery training institutions across the country, and to be posted back to serve in the district on completion of their courses of studies. We are hopeful that when this scheme sees the light of the day, will help improve healthcare delivery for our dear mothers and wives in the districts. On education, construction of new classroom blocks for underserved areas. Honorable Presiding Member, the committee also discussed extensively on the extent and dangers dilapidated the classrooms pose to learning outcomes and the health of students and teachers. It therefore recommended that the Assembly should construct new classroom blocks for schools with dilapidated structures in the district within the shortest possible time. Members also opined that lack of maintenance culture was to be blamed for the fast deteriorating nature of most school blocks. To solve this problem, it was decided that heads of schools should be sensitized to ensure that the school structures are judiciously used and defects promptly worked on. I want to urge honorable members to keep an eye on all school buildings as well as facilities and report appropriately to the school management committees and District Director of Education for action. On water and sanitation, it was also recommended that the water system at the Sepa market should be assessed and rehabilitated to improve sanitation. And on transport, regulation of transport fares in the district, the committee noted that man by nature is a profit maximizer, and if given the opportunity will exploit his or her clients. Against this background, it was feared that in the relationship between transport operators and passengers, the latter was vulnerable to manipulation. It also came to the attention of the Executive Committee that there is arbitrary charging of fares by Praja operators. To this end, it was thought prudent for transport fares to be regulated in the district. Honorable Presiding Member, it was thus recommended that the House consider setting up transport committee comprising management, assembly members, and relevant stakeholders to serve as regulatory body in respect of lorry and prajia fare management. The next is licensing of motorbikes for assembly members. Honorable Presiding Member, it also came to the notice of the committee that honorable assembly members are being harassed by the police at checkpoints due to absence of registered numbers. It was thus recommended that the assembly should register new motorbikes given to the assembly members. And on environmental management, Honorable Presiding Member, are you with me?
Sure.
Vegetation cover is very important to the quality of soil for agriculture. Influences transpiration and thus rainfall pattern. It is also a critical factor for controlling climate change. It is for this reason it is often said that, quote, the last man dies when the last tree dies, unquote. As torchbearers in development, we cannot therefore sit aloof when our environment is being destroyed with impunity. It was therefore recommended by the Executive Committee that the Assembly should A. liaise with the District Police Command and Nananom to curb the activities of Fulani herdsmen, especially in the dry season. 2. Liaise with Nananom for public education, and that the security agencies should intensify their efforts to curb bush fires. 3. The necessary steps should be taken to discover and stop illegal mining in the district, not only to protect our water bodies, but our vegetation cover. The fullest cooperation and collaboration of honorable assembly members and Nananom is key to realizing this. 4th, champion and afforestation and reforestation agenda. Management would also engage District Director of Education on planting of trees to serve as boundaries to school lands. We would also explore possibility of mandatory planting of trees by basic school pupils and students as a means of inculcating the habit of tree planting at their formative years. On sustainable sale of land. Honorable Presiding Member, the manner in which land is sold in the district is seen to be a possible cause of agitation in the near future. To forestall this, it was recommended that Nananom should respectively be sensitized on sustainable sale of land in order to preserve some for future generation. Regulation or stoppage of game operators in the district is something we also recommend. Honorable Presiding Member, operations of games is a social canker that has hit the district with their consequences. It was argued that stoppage of it would continue to attract serious resistance from the youth, and taxing it in the midst of the potential dangers it poses will look irresponsible on the part of the Assembly. The Executive Committee therefore recommended that the operation of the games should be stopped, and if it is seen not to be the best option, then regulations should be put in place to guide its operation. I call on the House to take a stand on the matter. Rehabilitation of rules. Honorable Presiding Member, the bad nature of the road networks in the district and its repercussions on development was exhaustively discussed. To boost economic activities, enhance access to healthcare delivery, promote tourism, among others, it was recommended that rehabilitation of the road networks, especially the Nsawkaw Road, should be carried out as matter of agency, and also from Edam to River Tain. It needed immediate attention. Seeding of sand winning to the area or town council. Honorable Presiding Member, sand winning is ongoing in almost all communities, usually untaxed. The executive committee therefore recommended that sand winning should be ceded to the area and town councils, since it will be easier for them to track the operations of the sand winners. The next one is collaboration between Public Relations and Complaints Committee and Regional Rent Control Department to regulate rent payment. Honorable Presiding Member, for us it is required for tenant to pay advance of 6 months for accommodation. Landlords and landladies in the district demand 1 year, and in some cases 2 years advance from tenants for rent renewal. In the face of persistent complaints from tenants, the Executive Committee recommended that the Public Relations and Complaints Committee should liaise with the Regional Rent Control Department to handle grievances from tenants. The next is regulation of unauthorized development. Honorable Presiding Member, members of the Executive Committee lamented about the impunity with which unauthorized structures were springing up in the district. It was therefore recommended that the Assembly members should assist management to implement building regulations by sensitizing their electorates. It was also recommended that Assembly should monitor and report recalcitrant developers to the Works Department for further action. On this note, I humbly call on the House to approve the recommendation of the Executive Committee for implementation. Approval of the 2022 Action Plan, 2022 Fee Fixing Resolution, and 2022 Composite Budget. Honorable Presiding Member, the draft copies of the 2022 Annual Action Plan, Fee Fixing Resolution, and Composite